Like, have you ever seen back when there was police shooting videos, black people that were coming up a lot? They'd always, some news organization would get it. It would be theirs. And you go on YouTube to watch it, and there's an ad. So it's like Snapple.
Yep.
The guy gets beat up, and then Snapple again at the end.
Yeah. And they make money off that.
Snapple is like...
Yeah. So strange. The news is so bizarre. The format's so bizarre.
We get what we want from it, though, because everybody likes to be entertained by news. So if there was, it's like drug use. If there isn't the user, then the dealer goes broke.
It's way less popular than it's ever been in human history. Like in the history of television news, the news, like the evening news and CNN, those things, are less popular than they've ever been.
Right.
Ever. And it's because people are tired of it. It's a shitty format. And in comparison to long-form discussions like independent interview shows, like, there's so many different political shows now and podcasts where people have nuanced perspectives. And if you really want to understand what's going on in the world, like complicated issues, like the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, like you need people to break it down to you, and they're not going to get it in 5 minutes. You're not going to. You're going to get they hate us for our freedom. That's what you're going to get in 5 minutes. Right. You're going to get nonsense talking points.
No, I remember when I grew up, like Walter Cronkite was still on the air somewhere. I remember he was on CBS. I think my earliest news memory. Was when Apollo and Soyuz, the two, the Russian and the American capsule, docked in mid-space. There was something where they were both up there once and they ran into each other and saw each other from the window and kind of got close and thought, hey, what if we could meet? So they went back and they fashioned a dock. This is like in the early 70s or mid 70s. And they went up and they docked, and then they walked, they hung out and drank vodka. Anyway, it was during the Cold War. It was a big deal. And I remember Walter Cronkite, I think this is what I remember. I could be wrong. But Walter Cronkite saying, if you live in the northeast of the United States, if you go outside tonight, if you look up, you'll see a red light and a white light blinking next to each other, and that's them in orbit. And I went up and I fucking saw it, and it blew my mind.
Wow.
And the way he said it with a little bit of a smirk, like, isn't that cool? Because he was very stoic. But there was a thing back then where there was just him and David Brinkley. There was a couple of news organizations, and then like PBS. And you kind of got a sense that they were on it, and also that it wasn't fun. They had ethics, that they took years of training in college and school to get through, and a system of a hierarchy of whatever internships, and that by the time you were running the network news, you were a serious person that took it seriously.
Yes.
And I remember maybe in the mid 80s when I started to hear this sound from the news, that I thought, what are you doing? And then sometimes it sounded like this.
Right.
And they're saying, and I was like, what are you fucking I could hear the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were, but that back then they were just trying to make it sound interesting when it wasn't. They didn't start having this opinion thing yet,
Right.
But it became a show, and now it's a show about opinions. It's entertainment, and like any other entertainment organization in America, they ran it way past the finish. They went way past it. Nobody likes it anymore, and they're running it to the ground. They can't they don't know when to stop.
Yeah, well, that's the train they're on, right? Do you think Fox started it? Was it Fox that started this like aggressive sort of opinion version of the news? Were they the first, and then everybody else sort of had to respond to it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Fox is the first
I'm an idiot. I don't know that.
Hot ladies in short skirts. They were the first.
Well, there was. I mean, look, fucking Barbara Walters was hot when she started. That was
right, but she dressed appropriately. She was very attractive, but she dressed appropriately.
Do you remember thinking that?